I still want to know what Brandon Aiyuk is mad about. What's up, everyone? Welcome to LaCohn and LaRocca. I'm Grant LaCohn. That's Tyler LaRocca. And today's episode is brought to you by Factor. Summer is here, more sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And that's why Tyler recently got Factor for himself. Didn't you, Tyler?
Yes, I did. I got it to replace my lunches. And it's really good. Honestly, you have like these chef-crafted meals that would take way too long to cook yourself. Good macros if you're into your health and fitness. Clean food. Yeah. So high protein, high calories, good lunches, easy to make. Throw them in the microwave and you have, chef-created meals for cheap.
Get started at factormeals.com/cone50off and use code cone50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code cone50off at factormeals.com/cone50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/cone50off. All right. Now that we did that, it's time to talk about Brandon Aiyuk again. And first, I just want to thank Brandon Aiyuk for giving us something to talk about during this slow time of the year. You know, sometimes I used to say that the Lord provides, but now it's Brandon provides. So thank you, Brandon. He posted cryptic stuff. It's always great when it's cryptic because you can like analyze it.
You could really go through
most
it.
People's first assumption was that he was talking about Kyle Shanahan. I have a different interpretation. Let's reinterpret Brandon Aiyuk's post. Is it possible that Brandon, instead of talking about Kyle, was talking about Brock? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here's the case that he was maybe talking about Brock.
Okay.
Kyle called the plays. Brock throws the passes. In the Super Bowl, there were many instances where Brandon was open. We don't know the progression. For whatever reason, Brock went to Jennings instead of Brandon Aiyuk over and over and over again. And, maybe Brandon feels he should have got the ball and that Brock didn't throw to him. There was the other thing. Recently, Brock kept saying, I want to get this contract signed as soon as possible because I don't want, I don't want this to linger on like last year and to be a distraction like last year. It's kind of taking a shot at Brandon Aiyuk. Like, I don't want to be like Brandon over there. Brandon, what he did. Seems like retroactively the team kind of blamed Brandon for their bad season when there was a lot of people who had disappointing seasons. So maybe he feels like Brock didn't support him during that time. The way Joe Burrow, advocated for T. Higgins and
that's true.
And Jamar Chase and just kind of was silent. And then when it was time for Brock to get paid, he sort of used Aiyuk as an example of what not to do. And then there's the last one where he said, don't forget who got you there. There was that NFC Championship game where it could have went either way. And then Brock threw that one pass, the deep pass down the middle that almost got intercepted. But instead of hitting the DB in the hands, it hit him in the face. It bounced off his face and landed in Aiyuk's hands. And Aiyuk really that catch was a huge turning point in the game. So is it possible that Aiyuk feels a little miffed at his quarterback?
I mean, it's so funny because I've seen the most absurd translations of this. I've seen people go, he's not even mad at anyone. He's talking about the haters. He's not mad at this. He's talking about this. He's talking about the defenders that are putting things on, like dirt on his name. I don't know. That's the craziest thing is like he could be mad at Brock. He could be mad at Kyle. He could just be mad at Jed. Like, why did you get these guys' contracts done so early? Maybe that's why he's mad. Maybe he's mad because, Brock's saying, I don't know why it had to drag out. And Brandon Aiyuk saying, I don't know why it had to drag out either. Why did it have to drag out, guys? And I don't know. Maybe Brandon's like, where was this before I got hurt? It could be anything. I do think it's funny. I mean, how, like, Brock last year, he didn't really work out that much with Brandon, right? He worked out with, like, Debo. He worked out with Ricky. He worked out with Cowing. He worked out with Debo, too. So it's not like you can say, well, he's just working out with the young guys. No, he's working out with Debo as well. And he's working out with Christian. And he's working out with George. And then this year, obviously, Brandon couldn't work out. We had the picture of Brandon Aiyuk golfing with Brock Purdy and, yada, yada, yada. But that is my thing, right? Like Debo and Brandon were huge, like Brock stands. Like they kept talking about like how they had an elite quarterback all last year when Brock was getting dirt thrown on his name. So it could be maybe he's like, wait, Brock, why don't you have my back? The time I'm getting dirt thrown on my name. In the
And
last year, whenever
you're kicking the dirt and talking about how you want to get yours done so quickly. And I don't know, it's like he was making himself the good guy at Brandon's expense. And I wonder if Brandon saw it that way, because Brandon seems to be kind of sensitive, and so
yeah, he seems very sensitive. Like it seems like it could have very well been like, yeah, like everyone was calling you a system quarterback and not elite. Me and Debo were like saying you're an MVP caliber player, and then or 2 years ago, sorry. But now when everyone's saying I'm a diva and all this, all you're doing is saying like, yeah, that diva last year is really holding us back.
and when it was time for Jamar Chase to get paid by Cincinnati, what did Joe Burrow do? Gotta pay this guy. He's incredible. What are we
Yeah,
doing here? When it was time for Brandon Aiyuk to get paid, what did Purdy say? I trust the front office, whatever they do,
yeah,
right? And so I'm just saying, like, I grew up with Steve Young. Steve Young was the platonic ideal of a franchise quarterback to me. And he was always like Jerry Rice's biggest advocate, Terrell Owens' biggest advocate. He was their best friend. He was always pumping them up and making them, these are the greatest wide receivers of all time.
and
And
if you
I,
think
I don't know
about
that
it,
Brock Purdy really understands that that's sort of his job too, is to like that diva wide receiver. You want that diva wide receiver. You
yeah,
like his ego. You want his ego to be bigger,
yeah,
like, and that's your job to pump it
and
up.
and that's my thing is like if you think about it too, right? If like again, this is so over analytical, but T.O. was mad at Donovan McNabb. He hated Donovan McNabb on the Eagles. Like
Correct.
they had a
And
huge
what did
feud.
Ayuk recently post on social media?
What?
To
Yeah,
to
yeah,
in
no,
the in
that's what
the
I'm
it,
saying.
that's what
Is
I'm
so when he
saying.
showed the
Yeah.
workouts, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's the Niners, obviously," because that's when he was suspended. Maybe it's Brandon saying like he's working out alone and he doesn't like his quarterback. I don't know. It's again, it's super over
Also, he
analytical.
posted Julio Jones, and we interpreted that as him taking a shot at Kyle Shanahan. Maybe he's mad at Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
You know, you throw the ball, you make the
yeah,
decisions on the field.
yeah, and I don't know, man. I think my biggest thing with Brandon is I've seen a lot of people talk about like all of a sudden it's been like, oh, Brandon Ayuk's the most hated Niner. I don't think he's hated. I think everyone's just confused. Like, why are you unhappy? You've literally gotten to
He's
sit at
definitely misunderstood
like,
or
yeah,
not understood.
I don't think he's hated. I think he's like everyone's just confused. Like, bro, you've literally just collected cash. Like, what is there to be mad about? Like, I could understand getting mad about being hurt. Like, if he was like, I'm pissed off because I got hurt and I'm pissed and I want to be on the field. Completely understandable. Like they're talking about him being a quasi coach and it's frustrating him because he just wants to play. That I understand. Great. Like I love that. If he's like, I don't like teaching these guys because I'm better than them. Cool. I love when a receiver has an ego like that. You are better than them. Show it. But it seems like he's mad at everyone. Like he's mad at Brock. He's mad at Kyle. He's mad at the front office. Like, why though? You went to Kyle. You did not want to go to Pittsburgh. You didn't want to go to Cleveland for more money. You didn't want to go to New England for more money. You went to Kyle and said, "Hey, please let me stay." And then Kyle went out on a limb and said, "Keep him. He's willing to sign this deal." So
Well,
I just don't get where the anger is coming from.
let me try to figure out where the anger is coming from, if we can. I mean, they signed him because they wanted to pair him with Brock Purdy long term, right? They were
Yeah,
trying to, like, they have this core of players, but they're like 28 through 37. They're trying to create a new core of players for the future. And Brandon and Brock were supposed to be like 1A and
yeah,
1B in that new core. And it really feels like ever since they signed him to that contract, they've been, even though they gave him the deal, they've been sort of phasing him out. Like even when he came back from week 1 to week 7, he wasn't the number 1 receiver on the team. He wasn't necessarily the number 2 receiver on the team. Like he was kind of getting phased out then. And now, I mean, I don't know where he fits in the future of this team. Like
yeah.
he may
Like
not. Is he still viewed as a cornerstone foundational player of this team, or is Jawan?
And that's where like my confusion, like this whole Ayuk situation is just confusing for everyone. And that could be, and that's why I'm like, when people are saying he's hated, like I don't hate BA. I love BA. I
No.
still ride for BA. I think
Yeah.
he's a dog. I think he should turn off Twitter. But I get why he's confused, because I would be too. The whole reason he wanted the money, even said it prior, like what during negotiations, the whole reason he wanted a lot of money was so they were forced to target him, because he wanted targets. That was his thing. I want the ball. I know I'm good enough to change the game. And yes, he had a lot of drops. So his target numbers, he had some drops at the start of the season, whatever. But like, that's where my confusion is I thought this offseason was going great. Brandon Aiyuk is rumored to be on track somehow for week 1, which again, I don't believe that for a second. But like, I thought this offseason was going great. Brandon Aiyuk, Jennings. Juwan's coming into his own. Ricky's coming into his own. Jordan Watkins, who we'll talk about later, is coming into his own. So, like, Brandon can kind of do what he's best at. And I thought this offseason was all sunshine and rainbows. And then Brandon Aiyuk comes out with, like, these cryptic TO posts and, like, don't forget who got you there. And, like, he's commenting even on YouTube. Like, don't believe everything you see or you're being told. It's like, what? Just say it. Like, at least that's what I respected about T.O. He at least just said it. I hate cryptic. At least T.O. said it. Oh yeah, Donovan McNabb was fat and gassed out in the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, like I'm working out here because I'm suspended for no reason. Like, at least he said it. I hate,
but it's easy to like blame to not take Ayuk seriously because he's not expressing himself directly. But at the same time, you could say like, man, why is this an issue? Like, who let this become an issue? Like, you guys signed this guy. Clearly, what Brandon wants is to feel like he's special.
Yeah, exactly.
To feel special. Like, he got the contract. That was supposed to be part of it. But you made Debo feel special for a long time. You made Christian feel special for a long time. There's a select group of players on this team that play by a different set of rules and are treated differently. And that's just how it's been, how it is. Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, he just wanted to feel like he was in that group for better or worse. I don't think that group should exist, but it does on this team. And so that's why the shorts thing was a thing. It's like, really? You're going to talk to me about shorts? That's what you talk to freaking Dominic Pooney about or Ricky Pearsall. Like, I'm Brandon Aiyuk. Like, I'm supposed to be above all that. Can't you just leave me the fuck alone? But no, you can't, because he's never really been in that special tier of players. It seems to me that you need to make him feel like he's special.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel like he's special. So once again, you got two choices. Let him go or make him feel like he's special. What are you paying him for?
That's my thing,
down
right?
a peg?
Yeah, that's my thing, right? It's like a lot of coaching is personality management. I've coaches in my family. I've coached before. It's personality management. That's all it is. It obviously is at the NFL level. It's game planning. It's all that other stuff. But at the core, it is personality management. That's why Andy Reid is so good at it, is because he knows how to manage a Patrick Mahomes, who is I just want to study all day, every day. But he also knows how to manage a Travis Kelce, who is, I don't want to hit weights. I don't like weightlifting. I kind of just I don't even want to run routes. I just kind of want to find an open space. And Andy Reid can go, great, awesome. I can work with that. I also think that's what Saleh does great. I'm not real, like Huff. Perfect example is Huff. I'm not really, I can really work in this way. I could really work in the wide nine where I'm just able to just head smash it at the quarterback as much as I possibly can. Robert Saleh's like, awesome. I love you for that, and I can work with you for that. Same with Greenlaw, Fred. That's why everybody loves Saleh. Kyle, on the other hand, seems like he just wants a lot of Swiss Army knives. Debo, because you can do whatever I tell you. Christian, because you can do whatever I tell you. Juice, because you'll do whatever I tell you. George, Brandon will do it, but he wants to be appreciated for it. Debo doesn't need your appreciation. Christian doesn't. George doesn't. Brandon does, and who cares? Who cares?
There's something like indispensable about George, Trent, Debo, and Christian. Debo at his prime. It was like, no one can prepare for Debo. No one has a player like Debo. He's a one of one. No one can prepare for Trent. He's a one of one. No one can prepare for George. He's a one of one. But with Brandon, it's like, yeah, you're really good, dude. And you're probably the best true receiver on the team. But there's a few players like you in the league, and you're not the best version of you in the league. You're a classic X receiver, and like you're like Devontae Adams in his prime, but not quite as good. Like you're a tier 2 X, which is worth $30 million a year.
Yeah.
But they've always kind of been like, yeah, Brandon, we'll give you your money, we'll give you your targets, but you're replaceable. Like Jawan Jennings can do 85% of what you do. You know what I mean?
And
I don't think that's really been the best way to go about business with him.
And that's why, like, I've been even on Twitter, like, I don't get why he's complaining, because if I was him, I mean, he's just a competitor too. Like, that's what everyone says about Brandon. He likes to compete. He likes to win. That's why he's such a good blocker, because he just likes to win. And so I think that's why, like, because if I was him, I'd be like, all right, fine, don't use me. I'll sit out there for 2 targets a game and chill and collect my paycheck. But he doesn't want to do that. Like, he's just not that kind of competitor. He's just like, if I'm out there and you paid me this money, throw me the ball 10 times a game. I don't care. Throw me it 10 times a game. I want it 10 times a game. And it seems like they like held a grudge against Brandon for signing him to the deal that they wanted to sign him to. And I don't know who's holding the grudge, but someone, Brock, Kyle, even both, take him to dinner, stroke his ego a little bit, kiss his ass a bit. Like, Brandon, we can't wait for you to come back, man. Like, it's going to be so great having one of the best route runners in the game be back on our field.
Let's bring this back to the beginning. What if my theory is correct and it's about Brock? What if Brock needs to take Brandon out today?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said both. Take him out to dinner. But yeah, Brock, Kyle, both of you, and cover the bill and just be like, yo, bro, we are so excited to have you back, man. Like, we don't know why you're upset, but what can we do? Like, what can we do to make you feel like the cornerstone piece you are? Literally just stroke his ego.
Brandon should be Brock's best friend on the team.
Yes, I agree. It shouldn't be Ricky.
A smart quarter. That's how Steve Young would approach it. Brandon is mercurial and a little up and down and moody. Guess what? We just became best friends.
Dude,
he loves me. You know
what
I mean?
Tom Brady did to Antonio Brown. Not saying BA is AB. Not at all. He's not that level. But same thing.
But that's the same approach that Tom Brady took with Antonio Brown. He's
a little manic, but guess what? He needs the attention that Edelman doesn't. BA needs the attention Jawan doesn't. Jawan's, I don't care, bro. I'm going to get mine regardless.
Yeah.
BA is coddle me a little bit.
He's a first-round pick, yes.
Yeah, coddle me.
Yeah.
I have been the best player everywhere I've been, and I still think I am now. He had no issue saying he was the best receiver on the team, even when Debo was here. He had no problem saying it because he truly believes it. Yep. Let him feel like it then. I want
that's on you, That's on you, Brock.
Like,
you got to work on this relationship, Brock. This is part of being a franchise quarterback.
We celebrated Debo for going up to Kyle and saying, give me the ball. Let me score. But now Brandon's chastised for it, saying, I want it. Like, I don't get. And
he's not even really saying it. He's being very cryptic because he knows people really aren't on his side. But again, if I were Brock Purdy and I saw my number 1 receiver being upset on social media, I'd be like, dude, we're going to Topgolf. We're gonna whatever we're gonna do. We're gonna go shoot guns. We're gonna go ride ATVs. We're gonna go have a good time and be friends.
I'm like, bro, I need you. Come over. Let's kick it. Let's get it going. I want you to know I'm here for your recovery. I feel like
if I were Brandon, I'd feel like, look, dude, you just got $53 million a year. You wouldn't have got that without me. I got you paid. Okay. I was doing this before you got here. I was working with Jimmy freaking Garoppolo. I got you. A lot of people got you paid. Don't you freaking big time me.
I mean, the year that they are basing his contract off of, who was his best target? Brandon. That was his by far.
And again, so much of his allure and his aura is that he went to the Super Bowl. Well, they don't go to the Super Bowl without Brandon Aiyuk making that ridiculous, phenomenal catch that hit the dude in the face. Kendall Vilder.
That's my thing, man. It's like, if he has an ego, like Niners fans are being weird about it. Bro, we had Jerry Rice, who had a massive ego. We had Terrell Owens, who had a massive
Michael
ego.
Crabtree, Anquan Boldin.
That is just what a receiver is. Receivers and corners have massive egos.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, then you don't like receivers. Because I promise you, Jamar Chase, brother, he was holding out for 2 off seasons.
Yeah.
Like Justin Jefferson, he literally said, trade me if you're not going to pay me. Like, receivers just have egos. You need to stroke them a little bit. You need to do it. JJ McCarthy, who's he going out with? Justin Jefferson all the time. He's trying to be his best friend. Joe Burrow, who's his best friend? Jamar Chase.
So Brock, it's great that you like go out and golf with Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing, but that's not enough. Okay, gotta be Brandon.
And that's my thing is I think
you went to Tennessee and hung out with George for a while. Wonderful. You're not done.
Yeah, like that's my thing, right? Is the George thing great? Yes, be George's best friend too, because he's your Kelsey. Be his best friend.
No, but he's 32 though. That's not good enough.
My thing is,
it's got to be VA.
The Cowing and Pearsall, Brock, you need to change your mindset from I need to work out with rookies to I need to make. I am the leader. Brandon is another leader. Us leaders need to stick together, and because whether you like it or not, dude. No matter how good Jawan gets, no matter how good Ricky gets, no matter outside of maybe Watkins, because Watkins looks insane, Brandon is by far the best receiver we have on this team. Like, sure, does he have a little bit of a drop issue? Yes. But that dude is open every play, no matter how many people you put on him.
In terms of just pure physical skill set is no comparison.
Yes. Like, Brandon and you should be literally, dude, like you should be at his house. Like, how can I help you with recovery? I'll help you stretch. I'll help you do PT. Like
you should be like the godfather to his kid and vice versa. Like, you know what I mean? You should name your first son Brandon.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you know look across you look across the league, every quarterback hangs out with their number one wide receiver besides the Niners.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
so that's one thing about Brock. Look, you're under the microscope now, Brock. For 3 years, you were just this aw shucks, $900K a year, one of the fellas. No. Now you are the franchise guy. They had to push out a lot of players just to fit you into the salary cap, and now there are so many more duties that you have to fulfill. And this is what Brandon being happy. That's your job, Brock.
Yes, like
your job.
Yeah, like, and because this is my thing, like when people say he's mad at Kyle, that one would confuse me literally the most. It wouldn't make sense if he's mad at Kyle. Kyle's the only reason he's still in San Francisco.
Correct.
Like, so when people are like, it's at Kyle, how would it be at Kyle? Like, if it is, yes, he might be AB. Because if he's mad at Kyle, I don't understand why. Kyle's the only reason you're still here. If it wasn't for Kyle, you would be in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, Brock was over there being like, I trust the front office. Kyle was like, no.
Like, dude. Everyone talks about the story. Brandon was talking about the story. John, Kyle, everyone agreed. Dude, Kyle literally sprinted up there and got me to stay. Like, it can't be. He cannot be mad at Kyle. It would make absolutely zero sense. So he could be mad at Brock. Whatever it is, Brock and Kyle.
Hold on, let me figure this out real quick. Brandon, this is the scientific method. Brandon Aiyuk Instagram. Okay, go on his Instagram. We know he doesn't follow the Niners. So now he follows 91 people. Do you follow Brock?
Probably.
He does.
Yeah.
He follows Brock.
But like, that's my thing is like, I don't know. And I, again, we are way over analyzing it because there's nothing to talk about, but
correct.
It's one of those things, bro. If I was his teammate, even if I was just his teammate, I guarantee you Trent's probably texted him. Like, you just reach out. Yo, what's going on? What's happening? Why are you upset? And maybe Brandon, who knows? Maybe for all we know, Brandon's like, bro, I'm just bored. Like, I'm just bored at home and I'm just messing with people.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but who knows? Like, if I was Brock, that's the first person that I would reach out. Yo, Brandon, what's going on? Oh, you want to go grab lunch or something? What's up? Why are you upset? Let's go grab lunch. Come on.
Also, because like the whole thing this offseason was the Niners are going to be great this year because they're having a drama-free offseason, right?
And then
that was the phrase. Drama-free. What was the drama last year? Aiyuk. What did he just do with these cryptic social media posts? Drama. Because we don't know what it means and we're talking about it. So it's like, oh, okay, so I'm the problem, huh? I'm the problem. So well, like, someone needs to diffuse this.
And so it's like, yeah. And if you're not going to diffuse it, I guess kind of wrapping into our other topic is, should we just trade him? If you're not going to diffuse the situation, like, can you treat him like the special man he is or not? Are you going to trade him for someone like Terry McLaurin? Do I see it happening? Probably not. I thought the best chance at getting rid of Aiyuk was I still stand by the fact that if T. Higgins was available, Aiyuk was gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's my theory is I think they now regret his contract and they don't want him on the team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know the building
I
vibe
feel
more than I do.
they had a split decision and they kept Ayuk on the team like at the last minute, and that maybe Kyle Shanahan was the deciding vote. But it seems like now
It's like
that a
buyer's
year's
remorse.
passed and he's had this
Yeah.
injury, and I mean, just a few months ago at the combine, Lynch was asked, "Hey, are you shopping this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's one of these things. We don't have the same funds we used to have." He didn't even shoot that down. Like, yeah, if anyone wants him, they can have him, and no one wanted him. I think now that they've paid him his option bonus for 2025, he might be
Yeah, I think he's
more
stuck. Yeah.
intriguing if he like can run. So give it a month or two. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they did do this trade because
My thing is, why would the Commanders? I guess Terry's pissed, so that's why you do
why
it.
would the Commanders? Because Adam Peters was on the team when they drafted Ayuk. He probably has a relationship with Ayuk. Debo's over there. It could work. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, and Jaden.
Jaden Daniels
Yeah,
is his best
yeah, that's
friend. I mean,
true.
like,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was just playing college football with Jaden Daniels.
that's
And
right.
that's my other thing. Brock, why aren't you playing video games with him? Do something with the dude. Why is he playing with Jaden Daniels? I'd be like, bro,
Hold on. Let's make
play.
the case for trading for Mary. I'm gonna make the case for McLaurin. You're not going to get anything from Ayuk this year anyway, or he's not going to be Ayuk until 2026 at the earliest. Terry McLaurin is going to be really good this year, and then he'll get old. He's like going to be 30 this year, but then you got Jordan Watkins, baby. You got Jordan
So
Watkins.
here's the biggest I think obstacle to McLaurin that would probably turn the Niners off is the reason you would trade him is because he wants a long-term deal. I don't think the Niners want to give out another long-term deal. I think they're like, we're good. So McLaurin would have to come and agree to like a 2-year, 3-year deal. And I don't think he wants that. Like, which is why I legitimately thought T. Higgins was super realistic because the Niners, I genuinely think, would have paid him out and then got traded Aiyuk to be like, all right, we got our guy. Like, now we're happy.
Terry's so good, though. He's such a good player.
He is very, very good.
He's such a good player.
He is very good, but I wouldn't give him a long-term deal either.
What about like a 3-year deal that they could get out of after like 2?
I mean, I would do that, but whenever like a player say long-term, I always think they're meaning like 4 or 5. Especially for an aging receiver, I bet you he's looking for that one more 4 or 5-year deal.
If you're not committed to Brandon Aiyuk long term and you're like sort of souring on the whole thing, then like trade him for someone who could be really good right now.
But I'm telling you right now, they can't afford to sour on Aiyuk because Pearsall's not it. I am out on Pearsall. Pearsall is not it. He is about to possibly miss his second offseason. God knows if he's going to get injured in season. And like, has he improved? We don't know because we didn't even get to see where his base level really was last year.
It's true.
Like, and he's an older dude. Like, he's turning 25, right?
Here's what scares me about Aiyuk, though. I mean, it's been reported that he tore his ACL and MCL. If you look at his YouTube channel when he talked about it, he also said he messed up his meniscus.
Yeah.
They never really reported if he fully tore his meniscus or what happened, but the meniscus, I think, is the scariest one. We've seen people bounce back from ACL injuries and pretty much be close to what they were before. But meniscus, I think, is going to lead to like bone-on-bone contact in his knee sooner rather than later. And it's going to like compromise his longevity. So maybe he's 27 right now, but maybe you think of him more as like 29 because of that injury.
Yeah, I mean, with Aiyuk, it's just, I don't know, man. I really, really think the Niners should, again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think they should really do some mid-season shopping. Like, see what's going on mid-season. Look at some receivers across the league, like Addison. See what he's going on because I doubt the Vikings are going to sign him to a massive deal. They have Justin Jefferson on a huge one. I don't know if you can calm George Pickens down from beating everyone up. Maybe George Pickens. Look at some of these guys that these teams might not be able to sign. and see if you can offer something. Like maybe, like who knows? You see Aiyuk more than anyone, so they could be like, "We'll give you Brandon Aiyuk. He's already signed. These guys are going to want a massive contract anyways. So give us Jordan Addison, and then we'll give you Aiyuk for a nice number 2 receiver that blocks. Justin Jefferson could take a seat when you need to run the ball. You know,
It's not like Ayuk's particularly affordable.
no, he's not. But with the market inflating, Aiyuk is going to look. But come Jordan Addison's extension, Ayuk's going to look affordable.
Yeah. That's pretty clever. I hadn't thought of Minnesota. They do have a quarterback on a rookie deal. I still think Washington would be the team because of Jaden Daniels and Adam Peters and Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I think your best case scenario, because I don't see Niners giving McLaurin a long-term deal with how cheap they're being, and then the losing money with the World Cup. You know, they're going to be in a little bit of pain for a minute. So, or who knows? Maybe they just chance it and draft someone next year, and they're like, "We're done with Ricky. We're done with Brandon. We're just going to use a first round again."
Well, I'm not out on Ricky yet. He was intriguing in that one game against the Lions as a rookie, so that's enough for me to like want to see a second year.
Oh, I definitely do. But if he gets hurt again, if he misses training camp, I'm out. Like,
well, this is what I want to say. I think for Ricky, I have a feeling he's been putting too much pressure on himself and overtraining because they reached for him and everyone knows it. And he's his first round pick and he's trying to prove that he's worth it. Now that Jordan Watkins is emerging, we're going to talk about him more in a minute. I think it takes the pressure off a little bit. Like, they don't need you to play. Take your time. Jordan Watkins is ahead of you now, and Juwan Jennings is playing really well. And when you're ready to contribute, if you're really the first round pick that you're supposed to be, then you'll get your spot. But slow down. You're rushing. You're pushing yourself too hard, man. The Niners are okay right now.
I feel bad for Cowing, man. I feel like Cowing's not that bad, but he's just like buried, right?
They had no conviction when they drafted him. They did it on a show of hands, and it was between him and a linebacker, and they were trying to trade the pick. Like, I think they just got him, and they're like, "Man, you really are 5'8", 160, man. That's crazy." You know what I mean? Like, wow. Yeah, we didn't realize you were really 5'8", 160. That's wow. I think he's good though. I just don't think he's got a future on this team. I think they're out on him.
I think Watkins is the Cowing replacement.
I agree. We'll get to him in a second. Philip Garcia donates $2. Thank you. William Engelman says BA is too confident for his own good. If he could just be patient and confident in the offense, he would make this team so much better. But when you have to force him targets, offense is so much worse.
I honestly think he's not cocky enough, personally. But I think he's just... I think he's a receiver, man. I don't think he's too
confident. Know. I think the irony for me is that both he and Purdy are kind of a product of the system and Christian McCaffrey. Like, they can both point at each other and be like, "I got you paid. I got you paid." Yeah. No, Christian got both of you paid and Kyle too. Hell you talking about? Like, Brandon Aiyuk is a hell of a player and he's a hell of a player, but I've never seen a supposed elite wide receiver get that much one-on-one coverage, man. Why do you think you get that kind of one-on-one coverage? Because of Christian?
I'll also say this, for as bad as Kyle is at quarterback development, he makes up for it receiver development. That dude can make receivers out of thin air. Like,
he's doing it again right now.
Yeah.
He's doing it again right now. I'm him 707 says, I don't blame Brock for not hitting Aiyuk at the end versus the Rams because bro had like 2 drops that game and was also he was ghosting the ball with drops. That's another thing. You could not blame Brock, maybe because I think from Brock's perspective, like, I can't rely on you. But he did have Aiyuk open in the end of that first Rams game and didn't throw to him.
Tom Brady talks about this. You have a receiver like that, it's your job to get him confident again. He has 2 drops. I don't care. I'm going to throw you a drag. You're going to get a catch, and you're going to get confident in your hands again. And when the game's on the line, you want to know the best way to get Brandon confident and feel the love? Throw him the football.
Yeah, and again, Brock, this is before your time. This might have been before you were born, but the famous playoff game, Niners against the Packers, T.O. was awful in that game. He dropped multiple passes. Steve Young didn't lose confidence with him. And with the season on the line, it was the last play of the game. He had to drop back from like 20 yards out. He went to Owens over the middle. He didn't go to Rice. Owens made the catch. And that was like the beginning of T.O. And Steve created him by trusting him
Yep.
and believing him even during his worst game. So that's, again, Brock, these are the ways you need to grow, because you can't just push out elite wide receivers because you don't get along with them. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but you can't do that.
I agree. You can never do that to your number one wide receiver, dude. I don't.
I'm
I
him
do
707 says Conley can do what Aiyuk can do. Conley isn't on the team
No,
anymore.
Conley also can't, dude. Don't like. Let's not be crazy. Aiyuk is the best receiver on the team. Period.
Yeah, Ethan M says BA is going to throw away his season over feelings. I don't
think he's throwing anything away. I think he's just
he's just blowing off steam. Charlotte Q says Brock might not have liked how BA ruined last year's offseason and was talking about how JD was a better quarterback. Plus, he dropped so many passes last season. Okay, I'm telling you, this relationship is messed up because Brandon does have some culpability here. You were going on all these podcasts talking about how great Jaden Daniels is. You don't do stuff like that. You talk about how Brock's the best. And so, I don't think it's important to blame right now, but I think there's all kind of evidence that their relationship isn't super tight.
Okay. Yes, he was. People also have to remember Jaden Daniels is his best friend. They have been best friends for years. And
should be Brock. I don't give a damn. It should be Brock.
No, but yes, he did do that about Jaden Daniels, but he did do that for Purdy. Him and Debo were literally wearing jackets. There was like 13 MVP. Brandon Aiyuk kept saying, "What more do you have to see from Brock? He's a dog."
That's true.
Like they were posting on Instagram about how amazing Brock is. Brandon Aiyuk has gushed over Purdy. Like he did it one time. He did it,
and then when Brock Purdy got paid, you know what Brandon Aiyuk posted on social media?
What? Oh, don't forget.
Think about getting another car.
Oh.
So I'm telling you, man, something happened with their relationship, and I'm not taking sides. I don't know what happened. I'm not there, but someone needs to fix that. They're supposed to be linked for the future. They're supposed to be the duo. They're supposed to be Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, Steve Young and Jerry Rice, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like they are. Charlotte Q says that might be why Brock has been working a lot with Pearsall and Cowing and likes Watkins. I think BA will be traded by next year or by the trade deadline.
Okay.
Yeah. When I asked Purdy about Watkins and he said, "Oh, he's so good," it's another like, our front office just finds these guys.
In the defense, Brock can't work out with BA. He can't run, so he can't work out with BA and Pearsall and Cowing. So he just can't.
I'm him 707. It's been about 9 months. I wonder if BA's ahead of schedule. Still haven't heard about that. I'm him 707 says give Ricky a chance. He had more TDs than Debo.
Brother, everyone in the building would love to. He can't stay on the field.
He's going to get chances. Markel Randall says the Eagles can win a Super Bowl with multiple AJ tantrums.
Yeah. Yes. Because
those are worse than the Aiyuk ones. JDM 408 says Grant, the Raiders used your combine question to Pete Carroll in their latest behind the scenes video. The one you asked, and he said, "Get it." Yeah. Yes. Love that for me and for the Raiders.
That's awesome. I haven't seen it though.
The Niners should post that too. All right, one more topic, and then we'll get to our prize picks. So, a couple of days ago, we interviewed all the position coaches on the Niners. They do it about twice a year, once in OTAs, once in training camp. Otherwise, the position coaches are off limits. You only really get to talk to the head coach and the coordinators because the team wants to have like one clear voice and narrative. They don't want a bunch of different side voices and stuff. So anyway, we got to talk to Mick Lombardi, who's the new quarterback coach. And he was on the staff last year. He's he's about my age. He grew up out here. He's very eager and enthusiastic guy. And he presented himself really well. It just made me think like back to Griese. Griese they were really proud to have him, that he was a Monday Night Football announcer. He played in the league a long time. Generally, quarterbacks who play that long in the league don't coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Brunell is a quarterback coach, but generally quarterback coaches aren't like big time starters.
Yeah.
He came here. He apparently had Purdy down as the top graded quarterback in the 2022 draft. He right. Nailed that.
Yeah.
And then helped develop him. Got all these great reviews from players. And then right before Purdy's about to get paid, he decides that he doesn't want to coach anymore and wants to spend more time with his family. Okay. And then he's gone. And now the replacement is Mick Lombardi, who was here. They didn't go out and get another quarterback. They just promoted a guy who was here. So there's no like real replacement. You elevated someone, but there is an absence. Griese is gone, and there is no new Griese. Do you think this will impact Purdy at all? Or I don't know. What do you think?
So personally, I don't, because as we saw from Trey Lance, when he was questioned about Trey Lance's development, Kyle is very, very confident standing on the my job isn't to develop quarterbacks. Our job as his coaching staff isn't to develop quarterbacks. So I think Griese helped Brock. Like Brock said, he, really got him in tune with the playbook and timings and stuff like that. I think by this point in Brock's career, he knows how to do that now. And he's figured that out. He's figured out his own system. And so I don't necessarily think, like, I'm sure he'll miss him as a person, but I don't know if it'll necessarily affect him football-wise. Again, Brock just had his worst year as a starter. So, I mean, maybe Griese was just like, I'm kind of over it anyways. And they were like, and they just didn't fight for him to stay. He was like, I kind of am over coaching. Brock's getting paid. My work here is done. Maybe like that was his mentality. Like, I finished. I completed my job.
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot. It seemed like the way they presented it to the media and the fans is like, oh, Brian just left. Like, we love Brian. And he just decided he didn't want to be a coach anymore and he needs to spend more time with his family. Like, we were just blindsided. But it's cool because we're just going to promote Mick Lombardi. Like, you know what I mean? They made it seem like this was this huge loss, but they didn't actually need to go find anyone to replace him because they just happened to have someone on staff. It almost feels like they didn't really care that he left.
Yeah,
like
that's kind of the vibe I got, was like no one really cared, because even Brock didn't mention it. Like,
no. Here's a theory. Well, so the Niners had this awful season last year, and the special teams coordinator got fired, the defensive coordinator got fired, but the offense was a mess too, and no one really got held. No one had to be like held responsible for that on offense. Purdy got an extension, Kyle's still here, but Griese's gone, and it makes you wonder. Like, Purdy definitely had a down year last year, and they made a bunch of excuses, but maybe the Niners were like, you know what? Griese was not helping. Griese, you need to spend more time with your family. We don't want to fire you because that's just be disrespectful. We really appreciate that you came here, but like, it's over, man.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest tell will be if Griese joins another team. I know they had, like, he was slated for a couple coordinator and head coaching interviews, which he rejected, which that makes me think, okay, he really just was over it. But I mean, we'll see next year, because if next year he goes to like the Eagles or something, and it's going to be like, all right, so he wanted to coach. Like,
yeah.
So I think that's going to be the big tell. But the Purdy side, it's like, I don't know. Do I think he'll miss him? Not really. I think Purdy and Kyle now are like I think he needed him when he wasn't QB1. Now that he's QB1, it's Kyle. I don't think, him and Griese.
I have a theory also as to why they didn't hire someone else. I think they're probably still paying him.
I mean, it can't be a lot, can it?
I know, but billionaires are cheaper than you think.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
If he has 1 year left on his contract, he could be like, well, instead of getting a job somewhere else and working, like, why don't I just let the Niners pay me to do nothing for a year and then I'll work somewhere else the next year?
Yeah, maybe. It's also, again, I still think it also comes down to maybe they just don't feel they need one. Like, right? They have their franchise guy, they feel. And
how big of a loss is Brian Griese, man? Like,
yeah,
they needed him last year. Did he really do that much? Yes, you identified him as being good, but the team took him with the last pick. It's not like you took him in round 3 or anything. And then when McCaffrey went down and the easy mode went off and it got flipped onto all Madden, where were you? Well, what quarterback whispering tactics did you have for Brock Purdy in his worst season ever, when he was holding the ball, running around, forcing it down the field, playing hero ball? Like, where was Griese? Maybe losing him actually won't hurt. Maybe Mick's even.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know. Maybe Griese saw him running around and was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
I'm out.
maybe he saw that. He's like, you guys are going to pay this guy after what we just saw? Oh, I'm out. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Griese didn't. Maybe Brandon and Griese hate Purdy.
Maybe everyone hates Purdy.
Maybe Purdy's the next Carson Wentz. Oh,
everybody hates Brock.
maybe Purdy's like the next Carson Wentz, where he's like this Christian guy you think is nice and secretly he's just a huge douche.
Is it also possible that like people just look at Brock differently? Like it's easy to like the guy who's the least highest paid player on the team.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Now
it's easy to be
be
like, oh man, people don't understand how good this little guy is, man. He's so good. He should get paid more than he's paid. And then it's like, well, now he's the 7th highest paid player in the league. Everyone's like, man, I got this full paid. What are we talking about over here?
You see now he's playing damage control, right? Like Purdy's going like, oh yeah, like I didn't take as much as I could have. It's like, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, you did. You won 6 games last year.
Shut up, man. Oh,
all right, it's prize picks times. It's the more fewer game time. Definitely never more or less. We play more or fewer up in here. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, wait, hold on. I got to get you back on the thing. Wait. Nope. Wait, I had it before. There it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right.
Wait, it's not less? I thought it was less.
No, it's never less. It's more. Well, it could be more or less or fewer. It's just not the O or the U.
Yeah,
I just changed the rules.
Okay.
Because technically less is grammatically incorrect, but we don't need to talk about that. NBA Finals. Should we go NBA Finals game 2?
Did you see
Tyrese Halliburton is now the best player in the world, apparently?
Did you see it again? Teams were 0-182 when down by, I think it was 9 with 3 minutes left in the NBA final games. And Tyrese Halliburton just made them 1-182.
He might be the greatest player of all time.
He might be the greatest player of all time. We're going more.
On points at 16.5, he didn't even get that last game. Who cares?
No, he didn't. That was a horrible game, too.
Yeah, but he's now my favorite player. What about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? I'm down on him because he lost one game.
Guy is free throw.
Such a bum.
I mean, he'll probably get his points because he's going to get to the line 20 times, but
they knocked it up to 34.5.
That's a lot. That is a lot of points.
And they just lost. The problem with Oklahoma City is that he has to score all the points. They don't really have anyone else.
Here's the thing, right? Is if it's a blowout, like actually, no, I say more. Look at all these times he has to score more. No, we have to give him more. Come on.
Okay. Shai. And plus he has so many names. I think more just is fitting.
Yeah.
That's enough though for that. I think I really want to do CS2 or table tennis.
Oh, let's do table tennis.
Or just regular tennis.
Is it? It looked like a ping pong paddle.
It looked like a ping pong paddle too,
this is
but then
tennis. That's tennis. It's tennis.
That's not as good. I like baseball. Yeah, we can do baseball.
What are the Giants doing? Can we do less on runs for the Giants because they can't score?
Well, I think it's like, players. But I think we could do less on like individual players.
Oh, here we go.
Dominic Smith.
Who is that?
He's their new player.
Oh.
Hayden Birdsong, Ramos, dude.
Dude, he always comes through for us when we need him.
He's such a good player. Ramos.
Oh yeah, he's due for a hit. Come on.
Easy. Hitting streak. What about Jung-Hoo Lee, though?
Oh, I love Jung-Hoo Lee, even though they're saying the Dodgers want him now.
Do they?
Yeah. Let's go more.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely getting a knock today. And then Matt Chapman with his little mustache, with his little Tyler LaRocca mustache. Yeah. I don't know about that.
No.
Tyler Fitzgerald, stealing your name. Willie Adames. Oh, he's definitely not going to get a hit. Where we going? Where we going?
Where's
not getting a hit. Nope.
Can you even do less on it? No.
I think so. We're going to find a way.
It's only letting us do more. Yeah, because they know it would be free cash, free smoke.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. I just want to express how much I don't like Willie Adames through this, but I can't, unfortunately. Okay.
Yep.
That'll be enough. Let's flex the play, submit it. It's Flex Friday protected play. Wow.
Oh,
so many great options over here at Prize Picks. Download the app, use promo code COHN, play $5, win 50 instantly on your first play. All right. If you had to pick one move this offseason the Niners made that was the worst move of the whole offseason, what would it be?
Not signing Drew Dahlman. But if it's a move we did make, that's tough. They've actually made really good moves this offseason.
They have made a lot of good moves, man.
Dang, I can
think of one, though.
Of moves
this move still
flabbergasts
me. It makes no sense to me, and I don't like it.
You're going to say the Purdy contract.
Nope. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Like a move. Like Like a transaction.
I don't know. I don't really
I'm
have
gonna
one.
check the chat, see if anyone's figured it out.
I'm trying to
The
think of a
worst
move.
move.
Like, I'm trying to think of a move that we didn't do well this year, and I can't think of one. Like, every move they've made is so beautiful.
Okay, I got one. Since you guys can't think of the worst move the Niners made this
signing
offseason,
Mac
it was
Jones.
awful.
Signing Mac Jones. That's mine.
No.
Yeah, that's
No.
mine.
It was
Yep.
a perfectly fine move.
That's mine. It's the worst.
Trading Jordan Mason to the Vikings
Oh
for
my
a
God,
5th
here we
round
go.
pick.
Oh boy.
That didn't make any sense. The Niners have some of the most cap space in the league. He's entering his prime. Christian McCaffrey is injury prone. Isaac Guerrero
So
is
was Mason.
injury prone.
Mason was hurt with them. That's why we got to see Guerrero. His Mason got hurt twice.
Okay, fair enough. But like Jordan James was going to have to be better than Jordan Mason for that trade. They traded Jordan Mason for Marquise Siegel.
I like him a lot.
He's hurt.
So is Jordan Mason. So sounds like a fair trade to me. So that's like a fair trade-off to me.
Can I say though that I just drafted Jordan James on my fantasy team? Dynasty.
Yeah. I started seeing people were saying you're not very good at fantasy.
Who's saying that?
I forgot his name. I think it was his name Joseph.
I don't like Joseph.
I don't know.
Well, how can I not be good at fantasy when I haven't played since 2011? Last time I played fantasy, my quarterback was Michael Vick.
I mean, you should bring him back.
I probably should.
Jordan James on your fantasy. Why?
I'm him 707 says because it's dynasty, and it's a 24. It's 12 people in the thing, and it's 24 rounds. And I'm just scraping at the bottom of the barrel here. I also got Jordan Watkins though.
Oh, that was a good pickup.
Smart.
That was a good pickup.
I'm him 707 says Brock and BA declined after that Xmas game, in my opinion.
I agree.
And then Aaron Galvin says Dirty Purdy.
Yeah, I mean,
one more. Hold on.
Okay, Jordan Mason was, I would say, the worst move. Like I said, they've had a great.
It just felt unnecessary.
Yeah, they've had a great offseason. So like these are very nitpicky. But yeah, I guess trading Jordan Mason, because I thought he was good, even though he was hurt all the time. He's like our little Elijah Mitchell, lightning in a bottle. You know, when he was out there, you love to see it, but it was a rare occurrence. It's like seeing a unicorn. You know, you don't see it often.
I'm trying to go through these.
We've had good moves. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't say the Fred contract, can't say the George contract, can't say the Purdy contract, because you and I were harsh on the Purdy contract. But the Purdy contract's great. Like this was the best case scenario.
Yeah, they structured it like the Eagles structured the Jalen Hurts contract.
So like,
here it is. Thomas Luttrell says, I've been trying to say the 2-minute warning play in the Super Bowl was supposed to go to Aiyuk, who was wide open. He threw to Jennings, and it got knocked down at the line. Aiyuk literally cried.
Trying to say 2-minute warning. Oh.
Yeah. That wasn't the one in overtime. That was the one going right to left.
I mean, I'm not blaming Purdy for the Super Bowl, though. I blame Nick Bosa. It was Nick Bosa's fault. Defensive player of the year couldn't set the edge on a read option. He had Patrick Mahomes dead to rights if he just stood there and he bit like he does every single time. And he just came off the biggest contract for a defensive player in NFL history. It is Nick Bosa's fault we lost against the Chiefs. He had Mahomes dead to rights, and he let him go on 4th down in overtime with the lead. You literally go, oh, yeah, the best player in the NFL is going to hand this off. Dude.
And then he blamed Steve Wilkes and said he wasn't prepared.
Yeah, no, I like Nick is the worst. I'm not even kidding. The worst read option edge rusher in the NFL. Period. End of story. He is the worst.
Good thing they got Mykel Williams.
Good thing we have Mykel Williams. Thank God.
Shyla Q says now it was it was signing back Juice and keeping Moody.
Okay, yep. Actually, yes, I agree with Shyla. It's keeping Moody. How is he on the roster? How? Wishnowski got booted before Moody. How?
Because Jake is really talented.
Dude,
sorry.
They're like, he shortened his steps. I don't care. He should have walked out the door. Take those steps outside.
Is that what they said? He shortened the steps?
Yeah, so his kicking's better.
Oh, no.
Dude.
Aaron Galvin says, Grant, are you going to away games this season? Hell yeah. Lucien LeChance the fourth says in matters concerning Aiyuk, I can't help but think, what would JD do? What would Jerry do? Not that. True.
Guys,
But I was also thinking, what
guys,
would Steve Young do?
okay. People always say this about players that weren't around during social media. Brother, Jerry had one of the biggest egos ever. When he wanted his catch, when T.O. set a record-breaking reception game, Jerry Rice was pissed off because he didn't get the looks. Jerry Rice would be the biggest diva on social media we've ever seen. Ever.
Well, he is on social media, but
now, but if he was,
anymore.
if he was on social media while he was playing, Niners fans would hate him. They would get him off the team. He's a distraction.
Let's talk about something positive, man. The new wide receiver, fourth round pick, Jordan Watkins.
Our own Tyreek Hill.
I mean, it's been quiet. You know, he didn't do much in rookie minicamp because he wasn't in 7-on-7s. But then first week of OTAs, he's just out there in the field and beats Renardo Green for a touchdown. Catches a touchdown on a post from Brock Purdy. Looks kind of like the throw that he hit to Brandon Aiyuk, except it didn't hit a DB in the face. That's one. And then in the second week of OTAs, he beats Lenore, which is like,
yeah, dude, who
are you? And then they give him a carry on like one of those gadget end around type plays, which means like, oh, so they're like building, you're getting a role in the offense now. Like you're Debo now. So
he's Tyreek
Hill.
So
far, so good for Jordan Watkins.
Like, dude, he's our own Tyreek Hill. He's fast as hell, which we have never really had a burner. Like, again, I've said this before, BA was fast, but like Watkins is fast. He's got like that. He's got speed. And so it's cool. Like all I've heard about this dude in scene is how great he is. Everyone's talking about it. Even reporters from other teams are like, why didn't we draft Jordan Watkins? Like this kid looks insane. I can't believe we didn't even talk about Renardo Green, but he's been getting cooked, huh?
He's been getting cooked.
He has been getting worked by every receiver on the depth chart, it seems like.
Yeah, Demarcus Robinson, Jordan Watkins, you name it.
The only one he can keep up with is Ricky, and that's because he can't run.
I just think it's funny that Jordan Watkins has a couple good practices, and Brock Purdy comes out and is like, yeah, man, he's balling. He's balling.
It's because he hates Brandon Aiyuk.
It's because he clearly hates Brandon Aiyuk.
It's crazy to hear it because everyone's talking about how good he is. So I'm stoked, man. I think I love when we find our little nuggets late in the draft, like Pooney last year, Watkins this year. I would say Renardo last year, but I don't know, man. He's getting worked seemingly. Or Watkins is just the second coming.
He's still got a lot more to show. Like right now, he looks like a guy who's a number 2 or a number 3 receiver, like a deep threat who can also give you some gadget plays. But I don't know if he could be your number 1 target and you can give him a volume of that. But like, I don't know that you can either. Well, he hasn't proven it, but we'll see. Him plus Pearsall. It's going to be interesting to see who has a better career, Jordan Watkins or Ricky Pearsall.
My money's on Jordan Watkins. I think Jordan Watkins is
faster.
He's healthier.
Yeah. Healthier is the most important thing.
Do you want to know how much Jordan Watkins has missed? 0. Want to know how many off seasons Pearsall's missed? 2. Yeah. So I think Jordan Watkins is going to be good. I think he's going to be our best receiver this year. That'll be my hot take. Is Jordan Watkins?
I just don't understand how Pearsall couldn't get to OTAs. So you got hurt before OTAs? How?
Well, the wide receiver coach
professional
said
athlete.
Him and Cowing have been working nonstop. So, okay, then don't go to practice.
Take a break. I hit 15 miles per hour yesterday on the treadmill.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I feel like I had a little bit more in me too. I feel like I could have went a little bit faster.
So you're saying you got a 5th gear?
Yeah, I think Christian better watch out because I'm coming for his
That's
what
I'm saying. That's what you should do one of these days. Like, you know what, Christian? I just need to prove something for YouTube. Like, can you and I just have a foot race?
Yeah.
And then if you outrun him, no one can ever say like Grant doesn't know about speed.
I originally challenged Richard Sherman to a race, and he never accepted the challenge. I don't know that he was aware that I challenged him, but there was a challenge extended, and now the challenge is to Christian. Christian, I'm faster than you. It's going down, and I'm training.
You're definitely faster.
I'm training 3 times a week at Orange Theory, so you better freaking watch out. All right, I'm taking this really seriously. Yeah.
Orange Theory. I mean, I've heard that's where like Tyreek Hill went, Jalen Waddle, Usain Bolt.
Just get my speed up. I'm at 15 miles an hour, but I'm going to be at 17 soon. And then it's only a matter of time before I hit 20. So Watch out, Christian.
Once you hit 20, I mean, forget Trent Taylor. You're going to take up the roster spot.
Yeah, it's about time too. I've been waiting for so long to either be a coach or a player preferably. I think it's time. 37, I got this.
It's like Kurt Warner. You're just coming in late.
Chris V says trade Aiyuk and sign Tyreek Hill. Thoughts?
So let me get this straight. Brandon Aiyuk is too much drama. Tyreek Hill is not as much drama as Aiyuk, the guy who is getting like arrested every offseason, is not drama. But Aiyuk, who's posting pictures of Terrell Owens, is.
I probably would leave Tyreek Hill alone.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no on that one. Steven Draper says RG is a press cornerback. Let's wait for the pads. That's great, but he needs to also be able to play zone.
Yeah, I mean, and hey, we're not saying we're out on Renardo. I love Renardo great. Don't get me wrong. I think he's very good. I'm just, what if he doesn't, what if him and Saleh don't see eye to eye? What if he falls off a little bit?
It's true. New coordinator, new year, new challenges. Man, we got to play this or that, dude. It's this or that time.
All right. So for our player this week, should we do Brandon Aiyuk since he's the hot topic?
Oh no. Sure.
All right. First one for us is Brandon Aiyuk or Devonta Smith. Well, you're thinking about this a lot harder than I thought you would have.
I'm going to go Brandon Aiyuk. He's more physical. He's just as big of a deep threat. He's more physical. He can do more over the middle. Aiyuk.
Okay. Brandon Aiyuk or T. Higgins?
T. Higgins. T. Higgins is bigger. T. Higgins can do everything Aiyuk can do, and he's bigger.
Okay. Brandon Aiyuk or Jordan Addison?
Jordan Addison's more explosive and faster. Aiyuk is a little bit Jordan Addison. I like my deep threats to be fast. That's my thing with Aiyuk.
Brandon Aiyuk or Terry McLaurin?
Terry McLaurin.
Wow. All right.
Terry McLaurin has had a very consistent career. Aiyuk had that one great year with Christian McCaffrey.
Brandon Aiyuk or Chris Godwin?
Brandon Aiyuk.
Okay. Brandon Aiyuk. I'll have a couple more. So Brandon Aiyuk or DK Metcalf?
DK Metcalf.
Really?
I'm sorry. I know people love the route running for Brandon Aiyuk. I think it's a little overstated. I want the size, speed, and he's never been able to play with a guy like Christian McCaffrey who gets double teamed out of the backfield.
Wow. Okay.
I'm a hater.
Brandon Aiyuk or Juwan Jennings?
Juwan.
Really?
Juwan.
No way. You actually?
I'm gonna go with Juwan.
Wow.
Aiyuk should be better than Juwan. He should be better than Juwan, but he's not.
Wow. All right. I got one more after that. That one was crazy. So Brandon Aiyuk or Brandon Aiyuk or his old teammate Deebo Samuel, who is the
Aiyuk all day.
Receiver. Really?
Aiyuk all day. Now the thing about Deebo though, in his prime, he was more dangerous because teams couldn't prepare for him, and he would score those touchdowns, and it was kind of always like he wasn't really running back. It was on like jet sweeps and stuff, but that was the most unique part of the Niners offense. But who is a better player now? Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah. Dang. That's my list. The Juwan Jennings one had me. You really like Juwan this offseason. You've been comparing him to Crabtree in his prime. You've been saying Juwan's impressive.
I just feel like the difference between the route running ability between the two is overstated. I think they're both good route runners. And I think, yes, Aiyuk is much more explosive than Juwan, but like he's not super fast himself either. Mm-hmm. And the Juwan's size is a huge asset. A huge asset. Like he's 6'3" and plays bigger than that.
Yeah, no. I would have chosen Aiyuk, but I like that take. That's a spicy one.
I no shade on Aiyuk either. I just think that Juwan Jennings is
Juwan Jennings.
He's really good, man. He played like a number one receiver last year. He's not a deep threat, no, but there's a lot of like
he's like AJ Green,
slower wide receivers who can. Anquan Bolden was as slow as he was.
Yeah, like Juwan reminds me a lot of AJ Green. Just sure hands. Mm-hmm. You throw it up to him, and it's like it takes a 50-50 ball and turns it into like a 75-25 ball, which when a receiver
That's
can do that, I respect
definitely Jawan Jennings. It's
Yeah.
a 75-25. Joseph Ernberg says Terry McLaurin having contract issues, trade. Yeah, we discussed that.
We discussed that.
I'm into it. I would do it. Markel Randall says it can be worse. He could read books when he's not getting the ball and yell at the head coach during a lead in the Super Bowl.
Listen, I agree. Like I said, I don't think Brandon Aiyuk. I don't dislike him. I like him a lot. I'm just confused by him. That's it.
Isn't the book that AJ Brown reads like how to stay internally motivated?
Yeah, it was like affirmations or something like that, and I was like, oh my god, people hate
how to stay positive when you want to rip the quarterback's head off.
All right, I don't like Jalen. Let's go to one real quick.
All right, that's the show. Thanks for watching. Have a great Friday afternoon. 12:10 on the West Coast, 2:10 in Dallas, Texas.
Yep.
Thank you for joining me straight from the Dad Gang.
Yep. See you later.
Thanks for